coming to you live from Austin, Texas, here at the OpenStack Summit. I'm here with Redbeard of CoreOS. How are you?
Doing pretty well today.
So, what is it you do at CoreOS?
So at CoreOS, I'm actually the head of infrastructure and kind of manage all of our day-to-day operations on that front. And I also manage our support team to make sure that customers have an experience with support that knowing that they're working with individuals who kind of have a bit more operational experience than some other support teams end up getting.
Cool. So I think last time we did an interview, you guys were doing well, but you've really sort of taken it up a notch. Can you talk a little bit about some of the stuff you recently have done with Intel and Google, et cetera?
Certainly. So we've been collaborating with Intel a lot on, previously we were working on clear containers. Now we've expanded that out into working more on OpenStack and really making sure that OpenStack operates as a first-class citizen atop Kubernetes. We wanted to see a situation where a lot of the historically operational pain points of OpenStack, they've been identified around like the upgrading and the overall maintenance of the applications. We wanted to see that get lowered into something a little closer to the realm of mere mortals. And we found that by doing that, where all of the pieces of OpenStack are actually packaged as containers and run atop Kubernetes, it actually gives you a lot of additional benefits. For example, being able to kind of red-green test across versions of things like Horizon and Innova, and also being able to kind of expand out and selectively pick and choose the additional components that you want to run, like Trove, for example, and be able to test them out and then make sure that they're going to integrate really cleanly with the rest of the stack.
So I think the marketing phrase or the term that's been tossed around is Giphy, Google infrastructure for everybody else.
Yep.
So how does that sort of encapsulate what you guys are doing?
So, really when you look at historically how Google has run all of their infrastructure, they have had an orchestration mechanism called Borg, and then Borg kind of handled the placement and kind of scheduling of applications atop their entire compute plane. And over the years they extended that to include even Google Cloud Platform running atop that. And what some people don't realize is that within Google, even when you are running a VM atop Google Cloud Platform, it's still a VM running inside of a container, potentially on top of another VM or physical machine. So what we really were focusing on doing here was taking that idea at Google that everything runs inside of a container and really seeing that extended to all of the different arenas that people have real compute needs today.
So with this then, what is the relationship to VMs in this Giphy world?
So, for a lot of people, especially as they're building new workloads, there's not actually a need for individualized VMs. But, enterprise organizations still have a lot of legacy applications that they need to run. And more often than not, those have been coordinated around a VM or a series of VMs. And for that use case, OpenStack still does a wonderful job of providing you a bunch of infrastructure primitives to make sure that you can deploy things pretty similar to the historical operational model for a business. What we find, though, is that as organizations see the benefits of scheduling things directly atop Kubernetes, that they're going to have a lot of incentive to kind of move workloads over to that, especially if they don't have to worry about some of the concerns around multi-tenancy and kind of additional services that OpenStack provides you, like those database services or like the kind of orchestration through heat. By using things like replication controllers and services, you can emulate a lot of the functionality that you would have traditionally done or traditionally configured using heat templates, only now you have it even closer to the hardware so that you can squeeze more performance out of it.
Awesome. Redbeard, thank you so much.
Of course. Have a wonderful afternoon.